Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share this fun fold card with you. It's called a pop-up box card, and it uses the Enjoy the Rhythm stamp set that you can find in my online store. So let me set this aside and show you how I created it. Okay, I'm going to start with the stamping for this project. I've got a nice juicy ink pad here, and I'm going to ink up the drum set, and I'm going to stamp it right here in the bottom of my basic white cardstock. And then I'm going to bring in the sentiment piece, ink it up in the poppy, and stamp it right above the drum set. There we go. I've got that ready, and I can cut it out with my die, like so. For my signature panel, I'm going to take the happy birthday here, ink it up, and stamp it on the back in the center. And then I'm going to bring up this musical note section, and let's see, I'm going to stamp it right like that across the bottom of the signature panel, just to add a little pop of color. I'm ready to start coloring. So I'm going to bring in my stamping blends, and I am going to begin by coloring the red on the drums. I'm going to use the darker red, and I'm going to simply color in the drums. And of course I can use my color lifter if I need to push any of this color back into the area where it belongs. Color lifters are great to have on hand so that you can take care of any of those oopses. I'm using a light touch so that I can move fairly quickly and go around the hardware on the drums. There we go. I love the way our blends give this lovely pop of color, and you can do straight coloring and have this bold look. I'm going to take my gray granite here and do the top two symbols. And then I'm going to use the dark to do the one in the back. There we go. And just to add a little bit of grounding to this, I'm going to add a little bit with my light pool party underneath. Like so. Okay, I'm going to bring my scoreboard in here, and I am going to score at the 1/2 inch mark, 2.5 inch mark, 4.5, and 6.5. And I can set my scoreboard to the side. I'm going to bring my tear and tape in here. Oops, I got some ribbon attached to that. And I'm going to lay that down right next to the score line and tear. And then I'm going to burnish. Now I like to add the tear and tape to that first so that I am ready to adhere my designer series paper and assemble all at one time. So I'm going to bring in my designer series paper that I've already cut. I want to line it up so that I can tell what order it came in. There we go. And I'm going to start by adhering with the left panel and working my way across. There we go. And finally, I'm going to add my signature panel here to the right. Now, when I bring this box together, I will have the signature panel on the back and the seam going where it needs to go so it's not as noticeable. I have that done, and I'm going to bring in my circle here. I'm going to lay that right there, and then I'm going to fold these in half. I'm going to use my bone folder so that it's nice and tight, and I'm going to do the same with the other. I've got that done, and I'm ready to start assembling. I'm going to set my circles to the side, and start scoring on the fold lines, making a nice tight score line or a nice tight crease. Once I have that done, I'm ready to bring in that side panel with the adhesive and remove the backing. And then fold my other flap straight down onto it. That gives me a perfect seal and creates my box. Now that I have my box, I can fold this so that the front shows with my bone folder, and I'm looking for this line here in the center. So I am going to add a little bit of adhesive to each half of these deckled circles. And I'm going to set one here on the right and one on the left. And I want to do this so that they're touching and that when I open this box, they meet the end of the cardstock. And the multi-purpose works well for this because you can move them a little bit if you need to, so that they won't buckle if they're too tightly put together. The next thing I'm going to do is add a little more adhesive and my deckled circle right to the center here. And I can move that over a little bit so that it's nice and in the center. And then I'm going to burnish. Last but not least, I'm going to bring in my focal point and my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to pop this up. It'll give it a little bit of shadow, and it'll just add some dimension to the project. And I'll put this right in the center of that other circle. So there you go, a quick and easy pop-up box card. I love these new deckled circles and the way they look, adding just a little bit of texture to your project. I think you'll really enjoy the Rhythm stamp set and the deckled circles. And of course, you can find all these products in my online store, and you can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.